Hello and welcome to Coral Gables Television Studios. I'm Brianna Moles, and joining me on this edition of Coffee Talk is Javier Betancourt, the Economic Development Director for the City of Coral Gables. Thank you so much for joining us today, Javier.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you. So we all know that the Economic Development Department helps to foster and create sustainable economic growth for the City Beautiful. What are some of the ways that the department is able to do this?
Sure. So the mission of the department really is threefold. We look to retain existing businesses, help those businesses expand, and recruit new businesses into the city that we feel complement the city's brand and image. And we do that in any number of ways. One of the major roles that we oversee is actually as the city's landlord. The city owns dozens of properties, many of which house city offices, of course, but many of which are leased out to private business and nonprofits. Among those are the Biltmore Hotel, the Miracle Theater, various retail establishments like Fritz and Franz, Haagen-Dazs, you name it. So that's one of the key roles that we play, is in managing those leases and seeking new opportunities for new businesses in our own properties. We also serve as a city's business marketing arm. So we're constantly putting out publications, putting out releases and information to the business community, both to support in their continued growth and to help attract new ones. As an example, we put out a quarterly business update with statistics on the city's economics and information that is pertinent to the business community. And I would encourage anyone watching to go onto our website and sign up for this. And you get this on a quarterly basis. It's at www.coralgables.com and look for the Economic Development Department.
That's a great reference, definitely, for people to stay up to date. And I know that you recently came on board with the city in September. So when you did come aboard, what was your current take on the status of the city's economic vision?
Sure. I'm in a blessed position. The city is very strong economically. There's a great foundation here. So really my challenge is to simply maintain and preserve what we already have and find ways to enhance it where we could be doing a better job. We are on very strong financial footing. We have over 8,000 businesses, over 150 multinational companies who are headquartered here. We have a very low vacancy rate for both retail and office. We have over 40 development projects in the pipeline that are being developed in response to that demand and low vacancy rate. For instance, the city is investing millions of dollars in the Miracle Mile and Geraldo Avenue streetscape. So things are very good. And really the challenge is to not become complacent, because there are a lot of communities out there who would like to compete with us for that business, and we need to stay ahead of that.
The department also exists as a liaison between entrepreneurs and developers, as well as the public and private sectors. Why are these relationships so important for the city's future?
Well, for starters, we're a very small department. We can't do things on our own. And so we really need to rely on our partners to bring their resources, their expertise to the table. And so we partner very closely and frequently with the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce, with the Business Improvement District, with the Beacon Council. Anyone and everyone who's willing to partner with us, we reach out to and we meet with on a regular basis. We share resources, we share ideas, we develop common strategies. And then, obviously one of the key parts of my job is to meet with the actual businesses on a regular basis, to touch base with the existing businesses, see if they're doing well. If not, how can we help? How can we help them grow?
I know it really is about creating those special relationships with the local business owners to project the city's success in the near future. And you mentioned the Downtown Streetscape project, which is going to be wonderful for the economic growth of the city. But what are some other projects that are sort of in the works right now?
Sure, and the Streetscape project I don't even think I discussed at length. To the extent people don't know, it's going to be a fantastic project that's really going to make downtown a more walkable, more inviting environment. And really bring us back to that vibrant shopping district that we were in the 1950s. And we're doing that by widening the sidewalks, adding trees, adding artwork. The streetscape itself is going to be a piece of art. It's going to be beautiful, and I think people are going to be really wowed when they see it implemented. But in addition to that, there are other infrastructure investments that the city is making. We're planting over 3,000 trees citywide to really add to the beautiful canopy we already have. We are investing in our parks and open space and looking for opportunities to expand those. The city just purchased a park on Lisbon Street. It's a small neighborhood park, and we're looking for additional opportunities as we speak along those lines. We are supportive of the Underline, which is a linear park that will run underneath the Metro Rail all the way from the Miami River to Dadeland Station. but a critical piece of that linear park runs right through the center of Coral Gables.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of infrastructure investments that are being made by the city that will improve the overall quality of life. And at the end of the day, it's really that quality of life that those businesses are seeking.
Definitely. The city of Coral Gables is in a league all of its own. But with that, does your department ever sort of look to nearby municipalities as a model for inspiration?
You could always learn from others. Prior to coming to the city of Coral Gables, I was with the Miami Downtown Development Authority, and I've already brought some ideas from that experience. We look to more equivalent cities like Boca Raton, locally Beverly Hills, in California,
Okay.
For ideas all the time. And we take the best ones and we leave the worst ones behind. And that way we're able to advance our goals a lot quicker.
And one of the other special things about Coral Gables is really its international presence. We have almost 24 international consulates and foreign embassies here in the city. How do you feel like that global presence really adds to what the city has to offer? That
really is absolutely key to who we are and what attracts people here, is that global orientation. And oddly enough, when this was nothing but trees and green space, George Merrick, when he founded the city, had that original vision that this would be a gateway to Latin America and to the world. And here we are today, and it's become reality. You mentioned the consulates and the foreign trade offices and the foreign centers of culture that we have here. Those are supported by and support the 150 multinational companies that are headquartered here. These are Latin American companies for the most part that have their U.S. headquarters in Coral Gables, or American companies who have their Latin American headquarters in Coral Gables. Includes Del Monte, Disney, Yahoo, Spotify.
Wow.
I mean, names that you would recognize, and many more names that you wouldn't, but are equally important. And that is all supported by our citizenry. Over 50% of the citizens of Coral Gables speak a language other than English. And certainly Spanish is one of them, but we have Portuguese, Italian, French. You walk down the streets of Coral Gables, sometimes you'll have to run into 10 people before you hear English.
That's very true.
And that really speaks to our
that.
kind of cosmopolitan global orientation. So while we're a small city and are really proud of maintaining that hometown feel, we very much are a global city as well, and a world-class city.
And that was actually one of my next questions. How important is it to the department to maintain that hometown feel and that small, tightly knit community, even while we do have this global presence and all these different businesses coming into the city?
Right.
I know that's probably one of the main goals, is to always stay true to the goals of George Merrick.
Absolutely, and it's a delicate balance, right? To want to become this global, world-class city that offers all the amenities and services that a large city offers, while maintaining that small-town, hometown feel that's true to our heritage, true to our history. And I think this city achieves that balance very well, and the trick is, how do we maintain that moving forward, particularly as people want to be here, right? And so as you see development pressures placed on the city, how do you guide that development in such a way that it's right-sized, that it honors our history and our heritage, that it complements the city's brand and doesn't detract from it? I think the city does a good job of that. We offer Mediterranean bonuses to developers to develop in the Mediterranean style.
Oh, wow.
We have very strong historic preservation codes and efforts. The city is currently engaged in an effort to purchase a very historic structure, 2506 Ponce, which was George Fink's original studio.
Oh, wow.
George Fink being the original architect for the
For
city
the
of Coral Gables. So it's a city that really takes a lot of pride in its history and puts its money where its mouth is. So it's really just about maintaining that balance between that kind of world-class city and that hometown feel, and we strive to do that every day.
If people are interested in starting a business in Coral Gables, and I know many people are, where can they turn to for more information?
The first stop shop should be our website, www.coralgables.com/ed.
Okay.
Or from the main menu on the website, you could just find the Economic Development Department. There you'll find a myriad of information on the city's demographics, the market research, how to start a business, the permitting process, etc. But we're also a white glove oriented city, which means that you pick up the phone, you call our department, you're going to get someone on the phone.
That's
You're
great.
not going to get a computer, and we're here to help you. So you could just as easily start with us. Pick up the phone and call 305-460-5311, and you will speak with myself or someone in our office will help you get started and get through the process necessary to get your business going.
Well, thank you so much again for being here with us today, Javier.
Sure,
we really
my pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's all for this edition of Coffee Talk. Until next time, I'm Brianna Moles, and from everyone here at Coral Gables Television Studios, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.